I'm gonna call the special meeting to order at 7 p.m. We'll have Charles Merengue lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so by way of background, we're talking tonight about the downtown major hub development project, which is not Church Street and Maple. It's basically Old Firehouse Road, Water, Rubber Ave, and the new street we're gonna make, and a lot of intersections and cool areas around it. And we've looked at it all the way through the process. There were some final decisions and revisions that we requested. And tonight, they're gonna present, hopefully, what's gonna be the final plan. Couple things we'll comment on, but with a few minor tweaks. The thought is we'll finish tonight, make our decisions, and get it out to bid. So, with us tonight, so Nick Keenan from Kleinfelder, he's in charge of the roads, the pipes, and all of the infrastructure related items. And Mike Segan from Richter and Segan is our landscape architect, and he's in charge of all the cool, good looking stuff. So, so they're gonna together, and Nick calculates the dollars.
That's right.
And tells us about it, and then and then we'll go over that and talk about it and the schedule. So, Nick, Mike, I'll leave it up to you as to how you want to proceed, but you can take it over from here.
Great, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna start with the cool stuff. So Mike's gonna kick it off and Rachel's gonna pull up the presentation.
Oh, hold on, you guys can move your chairs if you want to see it.
We got it up.
Rachel.
Oh, you have it, okay, all right,
What's that?
Rain dropped out of the window, sounded.
all right.
When she heard she'd have the cool stuff.
Rachel, can you see that presentation?
She's not in the.
Maybe she had a connectivity issue.
Disappeared. Oh,
So she could pull it up.
No, she's not
boy. She's
on.
not in the meeting right now.
So we can have it
Dropped out
on,
of the meeting.
You
We have to wait for the light back.
card?
I can get the USB, we want to do the backup.
And
You wanna give it to me, I can try to bring it up. Yeah, somewhere.
Poor Rach.
could be connectivity issue.
Yeah. I can never know.
It's windy out, you know.
That's good.
So, I was mowing that GoNet pretty soon. Mine doesn't speed up a bit.
Go ahead.
GoNet.
That's what
I got you figured out. That's a different
Wasn't quite sure the
network.
connection. You know, I think it's giblets.
That feeling I know.
A lot of bells saying that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They'll say unauthorized not to.
So it was good in the beginning, but I think.
That's what you got there too bad.
You know, so small. Call them and find out. That's the trust.
Charlie. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know.
Chris
Yeah,
is
well, yeah. I switched from Verizon or Frontier.
Yeah, we get some cool stuff up there now.
They start us that. I get a shirt.
I know, because
Peace, love, socks.
Good
Socks.
Thank you.
Just saying
Thought
that.
about it when I
Great.
went to school.
There we are.
And Lear.
Power of a vowel.
And Chris looked at it, he goes, "I might want to go home and shake."
All right, yes. We're
Here you go.
business here.
Mike,
Good evening to the board. This is the presentation, Jim, if you can go to the next one. Just to clarify, the mayor just mentioned
we're here for really the hub, A and B development. Phase one is here, Church Street, Maple Street, that's on construction now, and then Rubber Avenue's up above here. Over the past number of months, we've had really good contact with all the players that are involved here. There's been a lot of coordination with Enrose and Parcel B and Parcel A people, and of course DOT with the rail station. Thanks, Jim. A key part of this project has been the new rail station, which is kind of on actually close to it with the pedestrian corridor, which we'll talk about shortly. But again, good coordination, and they're moving along with their plans, and everybody's kind of starting to coordinate together and move forward. So good movement. Next. And we always show this as the kind of ambiance we're trying to create that we did both on Church and Maple Street in phase one. And this continues to be the theme as we move forward on this section as well. And you'll see where we really put to effect some of these streetscape elements in this current section of the project. Next. The plan that's up here now is really close to final and ready for bid. It's really consistent with the plan that was presented to this board. I think it was back in November. We've obviously advanced and refined the plan. We incorporated the input we got from this board back in November. We incorporated input from the Art Commission Murals Subcommittee. They've been great, the input we've gotten from them. And also from the working group and all the people that in the borough that we meet with on a regular basis through the whole process. So the plans really reflect that. Next, Jim. If you recall, a part of the plan is the streetscape element along Old Firehouse Road, that LA that we're creating. Go to the next one. And that's remained the same, where we have the flowering cherries on the inside and then a large canopy tree, creating a nice alley down the sidewalk. And that's going to be continued on both sides of Old Firehouse. Next one. A big part of the project, and the heart of the project, is this corridor that we're creating from Church Street, connecting to the rail station and really connecting to A and B. It's sort of connecting the old historic to the new development areas. So this connection is really important to the project and to the both downtown projects. Next. This is a advancement and refinement of that kind of key corridor connection running from Church to again Old Firehouse and then the rail station, which is off to the right. We've now finalized the pavement, carried over that pavement pattern that we had in the first section with the accent paver located. We widened the walk here. I think we've got some input actually from this board. So I think this space is really coming into its own as a really nice connection space. Next. And again, this is the area where we've been able to incorporate all the elements in the streetscape and really, I think, taking them to the next level. Next. For instance, we've taken the lighting to the next level, inspired a little bit by a trip I made out in Kansas City, the power and light.
Let's stop right there. So we all know what the lights look like and how we want them to look, but what does everyone likes those elevated lights in certain sections? I think they're really cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
Yeah.
It's festive.
So the elevated lights will occur in this corridor. You can see them crisscrossing here, and you really get a 3D effect by doing that. We'll be lighting the mature trees that we're saving along here. and also lighting the gateways on either side, and I'll show you more detail of that as well. So we've really upped the kind of lighting here, it's a great space to do that as well. Next, Jim. Not working. It likes this one so much.
I thought I could.
Maybe she's blocking you.
I have to turn it over to the.
No, it's, oh, there we go.
It's supervision.
Um, Really important to this space are gateways on both sides. And we talked about some of the challenges and opportunities with, looking from Church Street down and creating that gateway here. Dealing with the transformer. Next.
Let's just stop for a second. So,
Go back.
so the area, no, go to the next one is good. So just so no one's confused, the gateway area he's talking about is gonna go right through, you know, right next to the old Salem Theater, where that, CL&P box will be relocated, and that area of trees, that will be the connection between Church Street and the new, it'll go directly right to the new train station, right in that area.
Because that driveway will remain because it's.
Right,
Driveway remains.
Yeah.
Yes. We've had a bunch of meetings and back and forth with Eversource. We finally, I
by
think.
the way, they're coming here on April 15th. I'll have them right in my grasp and we'll end it.
Right.
They have agreed to move this back off the sidewalk and turn it sideways, which really helps us in creating that gateway effect. So we finally worked that out with them.
Let me ask you, is there a reason it has to be out in the open? Can it be put underground, or has it become too hot, or has it become something where you can't service it right away? If you had an
That's
access
an
to it?
Eversource question.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it
So-
needs air circulation.
So like right now,
Yes, it's-
they're taking all the underground ones out and putting them above ground. So
Okay.
I assume
Yeah.
that's the way
That's
they
the
want it.
reason, okay.
Yeah, and all our talks with them, I've never
Yeah.
seen them put something underground.
Okay,
No.
curious.
Just takes them too long to repave section that they were told.
This is the enlargement of that gateway. You can see the transformer, which was way up here, has been pulled back. It's in the enclosure. The gateway is now here. We've got screening panels, ornamental plant panels around. And those panels continue at a lower elevation, you'll see in the elevation, to screen the parking area. So you're not, as you're coming down the sidewalk or down Church Street, you're not looking at the bumpers of cars. Nice, open, generous way to either continue on that path towards the rail station or come into the municipal lot. So it's really that opportunity to go either way. Next, Jim. This is the actual gateway as it's developed. We had some good input from the subcommittee and mural subcommittee here in terms of how to go. They really liked, and we did a bunch of options that we put in front of them. They really liked.
You left a few for tonight, didn't you leave some options?
What's that?
We have 2 options for tonight.
Not for the
On the
gateway.
signage, we did
On the
on
signage.
the, on the
Okay.
gateway.
Yeah. They felt strongly that the ones, we had some all metal, some just different, variations. They really liked the granite columns. They wanted that traditional feel, which ties into the town green and the granite that we have there and the seat walls and the granite that already exists in the town green. That's what the elevation is here, and then a metal arch on top. They've also selected, after looking at numerous different options, the tree, branch.
Oh, we Xed out the trees, right? I thought we were going with the other one.
No, this is the one that was selected. This is not a tree, it's a tree branch, yeah,
What?
a tree branch.
So the grass is on.
Yeah, the grass part, Mayor, is on the lower one.
Okay,
And the grass panel is the lower panel that extends down along the municipal lot. And this, the transformer's back here and the transformer is blocked and then it's matched, so you have symmetry. And this gateway repeats itself on the other side. With the plantings in front, and the decision, I think they felt
so
strongly.
let's stop for a minute. So the, Arts Commission has a 3-person subcommittee. It's, the gentlemen who were here for the mural, Tony Jones, Francis Santana, and the other gentleman, who was here that night.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So,
Gary, maybe?
Well, could I ask you a question? I don't
Yeah.
remember talking about anything but the mural.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
no, well, I'm just saying that they looked at some of this stuff and their recommendation was the tree, right?
Well,
Yes.
weren't they empowered just to buy the train?
They weren't, no,
Not empowered, but
so we asked them to look at it. They looked at it, but they're bringing it here because we have the power to decide. So, I thought they picked something else, but
No, but we showed a lot of geometric patterns and they just felt that was too modern and I don't think anybody.
no, what Fran is saying is that it's not their call. They can make a recommendation, but this group decides what it is.
Understand.
Okay,
So what were the other options that were presented? Were there other options that were presented that we haven't had a chance to look at? But they, as a specific group, decided that this is what we're gonna pick. Well, this is your recommendation. You're not picking
Yeah.
it, we are.
you have those, not correct?
Yeah, I don't know if we can bring them up. I don't have a file of that right now.
Well, is it something you can get? Do we need to make a decision on those panels tonight?
Well, I'm gonna say, we're gonna make a decision on the plan and moving it forward to
Yeah.
go out to bid.
Right.
I assume we could change the panels if we wanted to, right?
Yes.
Maybe Rachel.
Of course, we can change. I don't know,
Yeah.
Rachel, if you could, if you're on, if you could turn it over to her and if she can bring up some of those options that we looked at.
Yeah,
Yep, I might take over control from whoever's sharing right now.
Yeah. It might take her a minute or so to pull things up.
Sorry, I did not hit share. There we go. So Mike, just for your information, this is the one that has the 4 options. There are colors on it, but that's the best one I can pull up quickly for you.
No, that's fine, it just gives so we presented again, this option, which is what was selected as one in the grass blades for the lower one and the tree branch. Maybe go on to the next one. This was a geometric pattern, computer.
Looks like we're hell, yeah.
You're drowning.
Yeah.
Actually, that says welcome to Naugatuck.
Binary code, but it's-
Yeah, Yeah, right.
And we'll try to go through this quickly. This was one that we had actually done, and we were looking at things that aren't overly custom and overly expensive, and this was one that we had done for an enclosure on a project. Some people like it a lot, but, again, it was up,
I like that. I like that.
It looks almost
Yeah,
like a
me too.
wood grain effect.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was nice. Nice and sleek.
Next, Rachel.
No.
Oh, that's full.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is,
It's the Grateful Dead.
that's.
Yeah.
that's-
That's the one I voted for.
That's more like the screensaver, the Fibonacci, it looks like the auto show.
No, that was that like the alternate color.
I think it's like a, like Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
the decision, and everybody seemed to feel about staying neutral and letting the color come in the plant material. That sort of
Couple
thing.
of
So,
hours and look at
so
that.
those were the kind of four options that it got narrowed down to.
Actually, like that.
Just a lot. There you go. In the group, because of the plant material around and stuff, really liked this one. We were kind of in that boat too, but we're not the one who makes that
I
decision.
think the two on the right are off the table.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Just a comment, I think it should be something that's easy to clean, easy to get graffiti off of. And something that if a part needs, they're available if we have to replace a panel.
Yeah, that's what we really wanted, something that wasn't completely custom. It's hard enough to get things in place, let alone, guess what, you're thinking now, start manufacturing in 2 years from now, we get it.
is the one on the bottom left is somewhat of a standard type thing that is readily available in case there's,
It was custom designed, but not as much from this, but we've, been through with the company that would provide this and gotten them to do templates and all that kind of stuff, so we're pretty far in that regard. In terms of treatment and graffiti, we would treat the finished product, it would be the same really, no matter which one it is, we treat the metal.
So it's the one on the bottom left, is it rough or is it smooth?
Um,
It's hard to tell.
it's, I don't know if you can go back in it's,
I mean, the one they picked seemed to be nice and smooth, which would be easier to clean.
yeah,
It
that's
looks like it's
true.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one
it's
would
just
be,
pattern.
This one has more surface area on it
Mhm,
with smaller
mhm.
openings.
sculpting and openings. I think to the graffiti artist, that's more attractive. If we're thinking about people messing with it,
Yeah.
you give them a flat plain palette, they're gonna add on their own vision.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you have the plants, which seem consistent with the plantings that are gonna be there, the grass and the trees and so forth. There's more open space, less to paint on.
That was the idea is, and I think, why we showed that as the first option too, because it does pick up the plantings that are around, the screening and panel.
And those panels say
You wanna
paint.
show them the full, line of them? You know what I mean, or don't you have a profile along the parking area, where they can see what the whole thing looks like with the plants? Or is it not zoomed in enough?
Yeah, we didn't, update that.
Okay.
Pay attention. So go back to all four, Rachel, please. So,
So, I mean, this is a group with a final say, it's between the two on the left.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't care, this is not for me, because my taste is unusual.
You're on the right. Grateful Dead.
I would have gone with the Grateful Dead.
Dead.
I'm good with,
Both
anyway.
of those are
I think the
nice.
plants work.
I think the plants.
Both of those are nice. I could live with either one of them. I just like plants to speak for themselves.
I can see if those
You know,
two
you have-
choices why you chose.
You
the
have
plants.
all these beautiful plantings and then you have, a picture of a branch in your fence. That feels incongruous to me, but I can live with either one. So let me just say that.
I like the bigger openings on the tree and plant one.
Yeah.
More natural light will come through. It's gonna seem less like a wall and more like an opening.
that's another good point, and we wanted, except for the transformer, which will have a screen behind it, so you can't see through. We wanted it more open, so you actually could, see into the space you're going
Right.
into as well.
That's a good
So
point.
that's another good point.
That's a good point.
All right, so where are we? Charlie, some of
That's
the,
in one with the
I'm good with the Arts Commission feedback recommendation, but not because of that, but mainly I like the one with the trees and the grass, because I think it's consistent with the design, and I like that openness.
So, yeah, compared to the other
Yeah,
option.
I want
It's the best of the three options, of the four options.
prison fence.
Not the best, but the best of the options.
Yeah, that's what the
I'm
option.
just worried with holes, things are gonna be hanging out of it, people are gonna stick things in it.
Back with their cigarette butt in there.
I mean, you never know.
People are gonna do what people are gonna do, and you can't really stop them. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
all right, so let's,
Let's go with the grass.
Yeah, let's go.
how many for the grass?
Grass is nice.
I like what you said about the light coming through.
Yeah.
How many for, what's the other one, the flat one?
Grateful Dead.
No, no, the other one.
Wood bark.
I kind of like the Grateful Dead one, but you know.
Like Peter Punch cover, Mr. Just Lucy's.
All right, so, that's everything, is all the one we have?
We're next.
Okay.
And one of the festivals, we're gonna have Uncle John's band.
They had to go around the block, you know.
I guess actually here.
Jump back into the presentation.
Okay.
Light up like that with the things.
Jim, can you pull it back?
Or Rachel, they will pull it up.
Like Jerry Garcia's.
This one came out.
You already got it? Oh, Rachel, you got it. Okay, good, thank God. So,
Really, Patrick, I can think it was guessing. I saw that.
Right.
72, I think.
Wow.
Rachel, I don't know.
Working minutes.
It could be worse.
That's great. That's good, Jane.
Right,
Um,
right, exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll proceed with this combination. Next, Rachel. Here's where we also want input from the board. There's opportunity to do signage, on this arch. We could leave it blank. We could have a small sign on the middle. It says downtown Naugatuck, and we'll show you some different things that it might say. Here's one that extends over and has a Naugatuck kind of logo on it, downtown Naugatuck, and then something that says Church Street District. So those are three ways to approach it. Unfortunately, we can't see that this is blocking. There's a couple other options here.
You can move that.
Can you move the,
Yeah, you can move that onto the top.
I'll minimize it.
Oh, good. Great.
thank you.
Move it to the left so we can see.
So, other things are historic, downtown Naugatuck, Naugatuck River District, although we're not right against the river. And then we thought, to consider too, on the Church Street side, it might say to the train station. And on the other side, as you're coming from the train station to Church Street, so that's more
That
directional
makes more sense.
signage.
What are the signs made of?
Probably be metal. Haven't quite got there yet until we. Any,
I like the directional ones. I think that kind of makes
Makes
sense
sense.
near the train
I
station.
agree.
I also just like the very simple downtown Naugatuck.
I do too.
I don't wanna, I don't,
I don't like.
I feel like the logo, I feel like we've changed it over the years, like it's
Logos.
evolved over time. And then Church Street District, I don't know, that just, one isn't jumping out at me.
Yeah, the icon like used for the high school, I don't think that's appropriate for
Yeah.
the business district.
The
and,
top one is nice.
I don't think it really develops an identity of its own. I do like the Naugatuck River District, because there's kind of an identity there as to where we're talking about. This is, to market it, come to the Naugatuck River District. To shop, to dine, to interact, would probably be an interesting way of putting it. But just downtown Naugatuck is what people in town refer to it as. So we're looking to just, for people in town to know where it is and what it is. Downtown Naugatuck is what they call it, that's what they're comfortable with. We're looking for marketability. It's
People might think they can
those
come down to
districts-
the river district and have dinner on the river.
correct, which they don't wanna do. It's like hit by a train. Yeah.
But yeah, I see
We
what
are
you're
gonna
saying,
have a
like
little rush.
like we all know the Quarry Walk as the Quarry Walk, it's not
Right.
Oxford.
Right.
It's the
Not
Quarry Walk.
downtown.
It has more of a
They gotta take
universal
the walking bridge
marketability.
across the road.
Yeah,
Is there any feeling in terms of keeping it small or?
I like it small.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top one. Yeah.
The top one, okay, so,
Yeah. I don't like our thing.
I like the video one too.
What's that dimension of right on that? Is there a- is
I like
there
the
a
Church Street.
Dimension there
I
on
like that.
to the left of the downtown Naugatuck side,
yeah, 1 foot 8 inches.
1'8".
So if we go with downtown Naugatuck, the 2 Church Street, 2 train station, where are they?
We would go with downtown Naugatuck and.
I don't know, I'm asking you where it would be.
I would put Church Street Station.
Like, it would be downtown Naugatuck, 2 train station? I mean, it,
Or on the other
what,
side?
yeah,
I'm
No,
not
I
sure.
think it would be one or the other, Mayor, like.
Yeah.
it would
Okay,
be
one or the
downtown
other.
Naugatuck
Yeah.
Or
all
2
right.
Church
To
Street.
use that top sign,
Well,
put
you're gonna be able to see the train station if you look straight ahead, right?
Downtown,
Right.
Yeah, so,
I like the one that says Church Street District.
But nobody knows it as that. It's hard, because do we want to just go how people know it, or we redefine it as something
Right,
that's
it's like redefines it.
to.
Kind of like we're just about equal to that Blue Diamond district.
But I think the Quarry Walk example is a good point.
It
It makes
is,
it
I
think
just,
of
Yeah.
I don't know
something
if
different.
district is the right
How about station,
word, I
Church
feel like
Street
we're
Station?
district.
Like
Like we're,
Is it at the bar?
yeah, but I don't know what other
Yeah.
word it would be.
Or downtown Church Street. Church.
If we use a smaller sign, we probably have to be.
Pretty
two words,
straight to the
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
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 Downtown Ogden's a safe choice,
Think so too.
you know, and that
I think the
can
whole
be
thing about
marketed, that can
redefining
be
Downtown to,
redefined and.
it's always gonna be downtown Ogden. So the sign goes, does,
Do we even have a
On both sides?
Naugatuck logo other
the
than?
sign would be on both
we're
sides?
gonna get a new one.
You can always put that.
It would be on both sides.
Naugatuck with the logo in
If
the
it was
middle,
directional,
but you don't have the logo yet.
you know.
By the time we get a new one,
You don't need a sign.
Yeah.
Both sides of each gateway or just both?
Oh, no.
One side of each
One
gateway?
So when you're walking
Yeah.
into it, you'll see
Just
it.
when you see
Right.
coming in.
Coming in,
that
right.
space.
Can I ask one more question about the fence?
No.
I was gonna let it go, but I can't. Where the branch is on the tree branch? That's not, that gap isn't big enough for like a little kid to put their head in there, is it?
No.
Okay,
None
I
of
just
the
had to ask
openings
that.
would,
Depends on the kids.
okay, I know.
I'll determine that.
You know,
Just a cigarette.
you know what I have in my head,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right, so I couldn't not ask that.
What's in your head?
A kid putting their head in that
Oh.
gap where the branch is.
The Geico
It's
could
nice
do it,
that, it's nice that you have, it's nice that you have light, but you don't wanna have.
You want to see the kid that's like.
So downtown Ogden.
Right.
I would just think it's.
Exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, we'll do the top door small.
Can we give that on?
All right,
okay.
that's it.
Okay. So we'll go with this, the top one, that says downtown hall.
But having that big borough of
Next,
Naugatuck.
Rachel, the downtown station, will be more.
Yeah, isn't a bad idea.
And then again, we have a gateway on the east side as well. That matches that one, next Rachel.
All good.
Uptown Ogden.
I'm gonna replace that.
This one is similar in that the gate is gonna look in elevation similar, but instead of having a transformer here, which is its counterpart, there'll be a kind of little niche with a bench, and that's aligned in that walk that comes from the rail station. So there's a little bit of a kind of welcoming sitting area there. Next, Rich. This is the elevation on that side. You can see the bench and a low wall that matches the granite material. And then the same detail on either side. It would have the downtown Naugatuck sign on top as
And
well.
would the sign like match that paneling, like it would be the same style metal?
Yeah, I think so.
I almost think that you need two separate words.
And then this would have a little bit of a pergola effect where we have some sort of artistic metal on top as a roof. So when you're sitting there, you feel like you're in a a little bit of a shelter almost.
Mike, this is where the elevated lights are gonna be, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that's looking back the other way, to Church Street, yeah. So you'll see all that, all going through here as well from this side. Next, Richard. And then, as we talked about before, we've had a lot of discussion with DOT and extending our brick pavers. Really along both sides. We've gone back and forth, made some progress and have gone backwards a little bit, but now they have agreed to continue the brick pavement, we think, up at least to the crosswalk. And then they've agreed to do stamped concrete in a brick pattern where they were just gonna do concrete. So I think that we're comfortable with that. We're just trying to get them to get our brick up to at least this crosswalk. So there's not a kind of a strange change in that material. Next, Rachel. So again, we asked them to bring the brick all the way up to here, but they have agreed. They're using our crosswalk pattern and then the concrete, the stamped concrete in the brick pattern, and they'll have that at the front here too. So the kind of stark concrete that you see in this picture will be softened quite a bit by that.
My question is, why would they even have to say, who owns what here? How much is the railroad in control of?
So there,
Versus the
so
borough.
go back to the piece.
Yeah, go back one.
Assuming the borough owns the Y.
They're,
No, go back again. We have a site plan that shows, like, I don't know if you have it here.
the very, Rachel,
Yeah.
one of the very first one or plan that shows.
Okay, so you see that, yeah, the area, trace it, Mike. That's gonna be owned and maintained and operated by the state. So they're gonna own, maintain the platform, the train station, and the parking. And then everything, when then Penrose will be the owner of phase one. Ultimately, then we have phase two and three. And then we have parcel A across the
So
street.
then the Y, where it leads to the road,
That's the
is the
town
West
road.
Railroad Station, and then the road is the town's road.
It's a town road.
And how, do we have room to either side of the town road, or is it just the road?
What do you mean, road? There's parking on both sides.
No, we have the walk on either side of it.
Isn't there parking there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
there's
Thank
parking
you.
and then the sidewalk.
Thank you.
The state's not maintaining the trees inside of their area.
Yeah.
They should.
They're gonna maintain the trees. Is
In
that
there.
realistic that they'll do that?
No, not really.
No,
We don't do it.
right.
We're waiting for them to respond back, to extend the brick in their area. We're dealing with the railroad here, not just DOT, it's the railroad section, and they're got different set of criteria. It did not compute with brick, but if there's a section, if we can get down, we've asked them if you can bring the brick down to the crosswalk. And the borough will maintain that brick, because they will not maintain the brick if it's in there. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for a response back.
Right, but trees require regular care that they won't do, so I'm concerned about putting trees where they're supposed to be maintaining them.
Yeah.
Where,
These aren't our trees, they're installing these trees as part of their project. So they have trees in a lot of their stations and they're comfortable maintaining those. They just did not want to do brick paving. It doesn't compute,
okay.
so.
Okay, skepticism.
Yeah. Can you forward it back, Rachel, please? So again, we're waiting for him to come back, at least to get the brick down to this point and, we're optimistic.
For whatever sidewalks that Penrose is gonna do, are they gonna do brick sidewalks to match ours on any of their stuff that would join?
They don't know. No, their sidewalks are more internal to their parcel. We have all the sidewalks pretty much around the perimeter.
Okay, but they won't have any sidewalks that would come out to ours
No,
to
no,
join them.
and keep in mind, our sidewalks, along Firehouse are concrete.
Mhm.
So it's brick is just that center
Gotcha,
corridor.
yeah, gotcha, yeah.
Okay, next, Rachel, please. And then just some of, so that's the main spine here. We also refined and finalized this intersection up here, and then go to the next one, Rachel. And you can see here, there's a landscaped island, that will provide traffic calming, also create a sort of refuge for pedestrians crossing, so they don't have such a long, crossing area. The circulation here has been refined and worked out. So I think we finalized this area, so. Next, Rachel. Another component is the treatment along here, with a lot of kind of still moving pieces. If you go to the next one, Rachel. It starts up here. We have a raised crosswalk across from the entrance to parcel A. This is a key thing for traffic calming, so people don't try to cut through the area quickly and move around. The road will be continued down in Water Street. Extension will continue right on to the rail station and then across to Maple and across Maple.
The raised sidewalks,
The
don't be a
new-
problem with plowing?
Yeah,
There's no problem with plowing with the raised sidewalks there?
No, I mean, it's not a speed bump, it's.
yeah.
No, but-
What we do is we ramp up to it, so it's not an abrupt bump.
Well, let's stop here, Mike. The pedestrian bridge that would go across the river will be in this general area.
And that's a comment I was gonna make. We have walkways that are on both sides of the Water Street that extend to the rail station. We've just done a simple trip. Right now, it's paved. If you go down there right up to the wall, it's pretty nasty in this area. And so we pulled out the pavement. And in the short term, we just have a simple lawn meadow mix. The future connection will be done here. DOT is evaluating the condition of the wall, the structural condition of that wall. So there's a lot of unknowns through here. And then parcel A is gonna add parking in front here. So we just provide temporary pavement along here until they come in and do their thing. So most of the money has gone elsewhere on the project, but this will get this in shape and get this going in the connection to the rail station.
So that pedestrian bridge will go directly across the river to where the bus parking lot is, which could be probably will be a commuter parking lot right at the on and off ramp to Route 8, which will dramatically improve parking in downtown Naugatuck, and will probably be the preferred spot to park because it'll be so much easier than going into downtown.
Does that wall have any effect to the train tracks that you were talking about?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not structurally bound.
it's supporting the whole slope.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why we've asked them to evaluate it. It's their wall.
Yeah.
So. Next, Rachel, please. And then the last, sort of highlight area intersection is the one down, where Water Street meets Maple at the underpass and the Memorial Bridge. Next, Rachel. If you recall, this was from the very first master plan, this was kind of highlighted as a potential art opportunity, and you're all aware that with discussions with the mural subcommittee. So not only is the attention here, but how do we landscape around this and what do we anticipate for the mural? So again, we met with the subcommittee, got some good input about where the mural was kind of progressing. And so we're gonna take the pavement out here. Right now, these cars come up, and if you look along this wall, you'll see holes in the wall, bags where the cars literally come up. So we're pulling that pavement away from the wall. Next, Rachel.
Oh, stop here for a minute.
Go back, Rachel.
Jim Stewart.
Yes.
So the company that's working on the mural claims to have great contacts with, Metro North and DOT. And they claim they're gonna have no problem with, improved signage of the railroad trestle, which is a mess. I want you to take note of the fact and monitor their progress, because if they don't get anywhere, we're gonna be left with the beautiful downtown and an ugly train trestle, and we can't have that. So, I think we should have a parallel path to make sure that something happens there, because it looks horrible.
Yeah, paint the structure, for instance. Clean it up and paint it.
They don't wanna pay it,
Yeah.
They don't wanna paint it.
but you have to maintain it.
Well, it
Paint-
looks like
you gotta
crap.
paint it.
There
Yeah,
was something said a couple of years ago, they didn't wanna, we wanted to
I think
paint,
it's-
they want.
Yeah,
everything
They
is
wanted to see
fine.
erosion, so they could tell how erosion is progressed.
So a nice sign there, Bob, on both sides.
yeah.
With the right wording on it and the right vendor,
Well, you
like,
do have a nice sign up there right now, but, you
there's no
still see the
sign.
bottom, you
They
still
took
see
it
the,
down, right?
I think I had it still up there.
It's still nice.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, it's on the other side. of
Still a
town.
nice one.
Yeah, it's down on one side.
Look at that, you need a tetanus shot.
And there's still enough room between that wall and the pub for some parking and 2 cars to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, go to the next
It
one.
is, there's-
Hey, go to the next slide.
Please. So what we've done is pull the parking in the pavement away, just enough to get a sidewalk in there and a narrow planted strip. The mural length is in design process now. It hasn't been finalized. It could go anywhere from here all the way down to here. So we've associated plantings along here with very low plantings to kind of feature the mural. And once we get past the mural, we're adding some climbing vines that'll go up and flower and up on the wall itself. So this is still a plan in progress, but now you'll see the pavement again has been pulled away, the parking spaces are pulled away, a planted area here. And we're just waiting for kind of the final direction on the mural to plug that in. Next, please. So that's an overview of where we're at. Appreciate the input we got on those various items tonight. And I don't know if there's any more questions before I turn it back to Nick.
Just a few quick things. The electrical grid, we're gonna have no problem with all these lights and what's going on down there.
Yeah, we've coordinated closely with Eversource on the lighting. It's not an issue.
And will everything that's built up that can be graffiti proof and cleanable?
Yeah, we'll put treatment on it.
And the trees that are going in there, I remember we talked about them. But are they low maintenance, no dripping? They're not gonna get out of control, I mean, we were told this last time at downtown 8, 10, 15 years ago. And the trees weren't the right trees, so I just wanted to make sure. It was when Joan was mayor. Just want to make sure these trees are low maintenance, they're not gonna drip. There's not gonna be 100 leaves 2 feet deep all over the place that need to be cleaned up.
Yeah, they're all tried and true street trees.
I would assume that most of the lighting is LED, right?
Oh,
I
yes,
think, yeah, between the street lights and the catenary lights.
Yeah.
Not sure about the tree lights.
the ones in the trees, not sure on that, but everything else is LED, that's all.
And there's
Yeah.
color options for the lights too, right?
Yep.
Like the bridge, you can change colors.
For the catenary lights.
Yeah,
for the
the
street lights.
catenary.
Yeah.
So what do you have, an RGB system for that?
It's an app-based system. now, so you can control the light and the.
You can have it whatever colors you want, it can fluctuate from red, green, blue, et cetera, or, yeah, I got you, yeah.
I think the only concern I have right now is on the traffic flow coming from Water Street onto Maple Street. Already, it's not the safest or easiest thing in the world to pull out of Water Street onto Maple.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about line of sight how is it gonna be improved? Do we need a stop sign? Do we need something that's going to?
Don't waste your money on a stop sign.
I mean, but fact is, I've almost gotten hit there several times, not with my car, but walking in the
You can't even
crosswalk.
walk in it.
People come zooming around, or someone stops you and someone comes around them.
Yeah.
It is kind of a dangerous area.
Okay, so did we ever, has a decision been made on Water Street being one way on the other side?
So it's not something that we were gonna present on tonight, but it is something that we looked at.
Right,
pretty
it's a,
thoroughly.
Charlie, it's a very good question, not for this project, but for the coordination of everything. And like, I was leaning towards making Water Street, across, one way going the other direction, which would eliminate a lot of that,
Going northbound.
going north, right?
Towards the post office from
Yeah.
Maple Street one way.
Yeah,
And then when you come out of Water Street onto Maple,
Can't take a left.
it's a no left turn,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, cause
Now,
when I pull
We have
out
a traffic
this way,
engineer working on this, right?
I
So,
wouldn't even go there.
Right, we did a traffic study of the whole downtown area, post-development. So after everything's been built out, what would it look like? And so we reviewed that, it did not require any changing to the signal timing. The level of service at the intersections was similar. It didn't really degrade, but one of the things we looked at was, like the mayor was saying, going to a northbound one-way on Water Street, north of Maple. It's still serving two-way traffic to the post office, so you can still come down Cedar and turn onto the water to get to the post office. But then coming out of the post office, you'd have to take a left, would be one-way northbound, and then that would eliminate one of those,
Hazard lanes, yeah.
hazards coming out at that intersection with Maple.
So you know what's gonna happen? People are lazy and they don't care, they're gonna come out of the post office, they're gonna take a right, and then take a quick right into here and come out over here where the light is, so that's gonna create more traffic to this building here, because people are just lazy. It's the truth.
But it may also draw more traffic down Church Street. Because they're gonna have to go back that way, left if they wanna come back to the bridge.
Yeah.
And it's gonna bring them down Church Street for the vendors.
I was gonna say.
Well, there's no vendors up at that part of Church Street, there's professional people, so they're gonna come down Church, they're gonna take the left out of Maple, they're not gonna go all the way down Church.
You're right.
Or they might just go straight out, go bridge, Yeah. Yeah. Either way, whatever we do,
Someone will. come
people will
by.
be pissed off anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't make any difference. I mean, you can do the best things in the
Yeah.
world, but there's gonna be a handful of people that are gonna hate it. But you know what, at this
Just
point
not
here,
happy.
we don't care, what we're doing is what we think is the best for the borough of Norton. Now, if you don't like our decisions, you run for office and you can sit in my seat and you can make the decisions that I was making. It's pretty simple.
I think you should be the one that presents that.
Well, I just been here long enough, I've been for 70 years, so, I mean, I've seen it all, so.
It's called democracy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just revisit the gateway sign for a minute? So I think we agreed that we would go with the single panel, the two words in one. Wouldn't it be better if you had the words separately on separate panels?
I can't visualize it, but
What do you mean, next to each other or?
Like downtown,
Like they showed.
like they show.
On two
I
panels
mean, two
Yeah.
panels side by side.
Yeah,
in an arch.
yeah, and
I like center.
middle one, you ditch the dog and put the Naugatuck, downtown Naugatucks together, is that what you're thinking?
I'm just thinking, yeah,
It has 5 panels.
it's
Instead of,
just bigger,
instead of the 3 panels, you make 2
Two.
longer
Yeah.
panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the, because they're trying to create it where
Yeah.
the
I just think that's
vertical
kind of
break
small.
is. Yeah, I'm speculating it's probably 4 to 4.5 feet wide.
Yeah, I think it depends on, and you want that piece centered, but I think it depends on how much of a statement you wanna make with the sign. Do you wanna keep it smaller? Because this is not necessarily a gateway to the town or the borough.
Mhm.
It's to this,
That slide that you had a little earlier than this one with the gateway picture of like when you went to Kentucky, Kansas
Kansas, the
City.
electric power.
Oh.
There was an archway picture in there.
Yeah, that's a big.
yeah.
I know that's much larger than what we're
Yeah, see,
looking at.
that's what I'm talking about. That's a gateway to a whole district.
Right.
Over a street, a 50-foot street.
Like Worcester Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They call it like, a lot of Midwest cities, they have the power light district, kind of like a mall, that's kind of
Okay,
franchise. And they all have those large.
so that's more like an
arches.
8-foot center style. Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that one sign, one panel was big enough.
I don't know.
Cause then you have all that extra space along the side, it just kind of looks.
It's almost 2 feet tall. That's 20 inches.
Yeah, that's a 20-foot span, so.
Mhm.
That's gotta be a 4-foot sign.
It's a thought.
Yeah, there'd be 4 feet each side.
So do we have consensus on the signage?
Yeah, I'm good, but whatever the group wants.
I like centered, not my thought, just the one.
And the top one.
I don't think we need to be overbearing with the sign. I mean, I think our point is very right to the point and simple. I think if we put 3 sections like that, I think, we might as well just, do the whole archway like that, because.
And just like with the panels, we wanna like let light in, and I think
Exactly what I was
leaving
thinking.
some
Oh, good
openings
point, good point, yeah.
like that would allow that to happen.
You could put string lights right around the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
By the way, there will be lights on the arch as well.
Yeah.
So like the
Okay.
sign will be lit, kind of like in that other picture where like, or you'll be, at least it'll be lit up enough that you could still read it in the evening.
I would think so.
Okay.
Could make it light.
All right, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I'm just not around.
Hey, Rachel, maybe go back to the end, please.
Okay, so thanks, Mike. That's the fun part of the presentation.
Cool part, not the price.
Cool part. I'm gonna cover some of the logistics, so some of the costs that we're anticipating for this project.
Oh, yeah, it's not the cool part.
Ooh, his.
So Rachel, if you go to the next slide. So we're advancing to our 100% design. We'll be delivering that to the borough at the end of next week. We have our 90% estimated design, or 90% design estimated construction costs. So this is the construction portion of the project. We're anticipating, the majority of the project being on the streetscape elements that Mike just reviewed, along with roadway and some utility work and soil management. And then an item that Mike did not touch on is the stormwater pump station demolition that's required to get that out of the way for DOT's train station. So with a contingency, we're looking at about an $8 million project for this work.
So what, why don't you go to the total number slide?
The next slide, Rachel. So this
Okay.
is the overall project budget. So construction is just one aspect. So we had our concept design, the final design that we're finishing up right now, plus the construction management portion, where we're at the oversight of the contractor and making sure they're installing it properly. So that would get us to a project total of just over $10 million.
So just so everyone, I'm gonna tie together, this Church Street, Maple Street and Fifth. So remember, on this project, 6 million is coming from the Connecticut Community Challenge Grant and 4 million is coming from our TIF funds. So they're very similar numbers to Church and Maple. And where this puts us in TIF is that we're pretty close to using up all of our TIF money for downtown Naugatuck. And we still have some excess money on the, Lanxess project right, as of right now. And we're still anticipating getting an additional 3 million for the Lanxess project on round 2, on the next round of SIP. So we're right at the limit for downtown. And we're on schedule, we'll say, for the industrial park subdivision.
Pete, there was discussion about what was underground on parcel B and how to fill in some voids that were there. I don't know where we ever ended up with that, but that shouldn't be a problem for the new roadway through parcel B, should it?
No, not for the roadway. The soil stability issues around the developer. So, so it's on Penrose to stabilize whatever they need to stabilize on site. Having said that, as far as their actual structure, we did get some additional brownfields money, 1,350,000, in part will help, with their structure and the material that's there that'll be taken out, ground up and put back. Now, remember, it's a little complicated, but we're responsible for remediation. They're responsible for soil suitability. Some of the items, like where their plantings go, are sort of in the twilight zone, whether it's remediation or stability. So we've reached an agreement as to how to handle it. And for the most part, it's funded by an additional Brownsfield grant that we got. So I know that's a complicated answer, but it's a complicated question.
We're just separate from this project.
Right.
Right, but my concern was the road that we're putting in, if that's gonna be stable underneath there.
So we are aware of, one abandoned tunnel that runs under Rubber Ave near the event space. And we will be collapsing that as part of this project, and that is in this.
Gotcha.
That's in a later phase, or right when we do the whole project.
It runs underneath
Yeah, I
Rubber
know.
Ave, so we are collapsing it as part of this project.
Okay,
Yeah, Rocky, where we're putting roads, there were roads before, so
Yeah.
it's not like there were basements and such that we're dealing with, so it should be in good shape.
Yeah, I know just during our meetings with Penrose that there was some question about underground voids.
And then the final slide I have, if you go to the next one, Rachel, is just project schedule. And there's a lot of projects going on downtown, construction projects, design projects. This is just focused on parcel AP. So 100% final design, we're delivering it next week. We're looking to move right into bidding in April. We're trying to keep this moving.
July, wow.
And then awarded in June. There are some reviews we're gonna go through. DECD's gotta, help out with the award for that grant money that the mayor mentioned. And we're looking at construction, starting this construction season. There are particular things that we need to take care of before DOT and Penrose can get in. So we gotta demo that pump station.
I wanna watch that.
What's that?
I wanna watch that.
Yeah, me too. Build out connector road, get out of their way. And then there'll be some construction activities that spill into 2025, the plantings and some of the final restoration work.
I might still be alive.
Maybe that stair outside the pump station, we could use a tunnel. So how is this
what is the train station's timeframe in
So-
relation to this?
All right, so we have to get this done first.
Right.
So we are, and where they are right now, it'll fit right into this, they're,
Right now.
they'll be going out to bid in, late 24.
Right.
So it means they'll be starting construction in, 25, and the roadway will be there.
Yeah, and how does this affect parcel A?
Well, A is gonna start when the train station starts.
Okay,
So that's a year away.
So in other words,
early 25.
A can't build until there's proof there's gonna be a train station.
Gotcha, man. Okay, cool.
I will say this, that we meet, and when I say we, DOT and their large engineering team, you know, Nick Kleinfelder, Nick Burrow, Jim, me, Jeremy, Fred, Penrose and their engineers, Corvus and their team, leaving anyone out. But I'm gonna say, when we have a conference call, there's about 25 engineers on the line. And we meet regularly as a group, and then there are also internal meetings between all the groups, every week. So I don't think people have any idea how many moving parts there are I'm gonna say, in one project, never mind when you're putting 4 projects into one.
That streetscape design with the cross lights, that won't create any hazards for the construction trucks and so forth that are gonna be going through there for the next 5 years.
Yeah, no, they're up high.
They're up high enough, okay. I figured it was a dumb question, but I wanted to ask it anyway.
Question.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna be high enough for delivery trucks and also,
Yeah.
so.
and delivery trucks are different than construction trucks. They're not high. I don't care if doing.
All right, any other questions?
Good.
All right,
Looks great.
so let's proceed to item 4.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgesses approve the final design as presented by Kleinfeld Northeast and instruct Public Works Director James Stewart and town staff to put out to bid the plans for the downtown major hub development project.
Second motion.
All right,
Aren't we working on the 90% plan right now?
the what?
And the final plan is coming in another week?
No, this is the final plan. They're
This
gonna
is.
take these tweaks and,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay, then yes.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, any questions?
No.
Any discussion? I'm just gonna add that, our, engineering team, Kleinfelder, Richter and Segan, have been excellent to work with. They're always available and, they're helping, coordinate with some of the other groups and, I think everyone is working well together now, so we have a good
Absolutely.
team.
That's good to
A
hear.
great team.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Get to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Reggie.
Yeah,
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgesses authorize Mayor Hess to sign a renewal contract with Sullivan and Lashane Incorporated, 287 Capitol Avenue, Hartford, through the borough as a registered lobbyist from March 1st, 2024 to February 28th, 2025 in the amount of $40,000.
Second motion?
okay, so, this is a continuation of our existing arrangement with Sullivan and Lashane. They're an integral part of our team. So we have our state delegation, our lobbyists, all of our Naugatuck people and, our grant writer. And, we have a really strong team now. And they give us a lot of help in Hartford. And I would note 2 things that Sullivan and LaShane, who've been there forever, have, just been bought out by Ryan Bingham and his partner. So the two young guys bought out the two old guys. And it's exciting for me because I was one of Ryan's mentors when he was a 22-year-old mayor.
Absolutely.
And now he's helping me as a 75-year-old mayor, and he's doing a great job. And yeah, and we're gonna be the first municipality to sign up with the new team. So
Is there
I
a
think
way,
it's great.
is there, and it's fantastic, is there a way to show the benefit that they've done over the last year in bringing money to the borough?
it's hard to quantify because it's a team. So
Yeah, I get it,
I
yeah.
mean, it's like really, really hard to say, but it's everything we do is a team effort. And every project is a little different, like on SIF, we work with the state delegation, our two senators and our two state reps. On the federal projects, we work with Murphy, Blumenthal, and Deloro. On other projects, there are different groups. So as lobbyists, they're connected with everyone. And they track all the legislation for us. In other words, anyone wants to see it. I get a report every week on what's happening in the legislature that could affect municipalities. And they keep us in the loop and, you know, jump into anything we ask them to.
Yeah, I think sometimes that when you see $40,000, which is not small, but you could say that, geez, you know, over the last year, he was part of a team that helped us bring in $6 million, whatever.
Was way more than that.
I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
I think that's the point that I'm trying to push out there, that these people are an integral part of helping bring funds to the borough that, is
For
always
a
gonna
small
move us.
amount.
Right, and let me say this, I'm not a political guy, but, their firm is I'm gonna say renowned to be stronger on the Republican side. You know, it's good to have connections with both parties, so it's a good thing.
Keep the money coming.
Motion of the Board of Maine Burgesses.
Hold on.
Oh, we voted.
We didn't vote.
We voted.
Any questions or discussion on item 3? Or is it 3? No, on
Five.
4, 5.
Five.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion of the Board of Maine Burgesses adopt the following municipal resolution in support of execution of financial assistance proposal as it read.
All right, so this is our $3 million grant award for the project with the YMCA acquiring the St. Francis School building. The match will be made by the YMCA. And the project is in its very early stages. But we're at the point when we have to proceed with it. So there are some things still under discussion, but we're moving forward.
Roll call.
I know.
We got
So-
Julie, say second.
Before we vote, are there any questions?
I know that they've, have they hired an architect yet, to work on the project? Do you know?
Well, I'm gonna answer it this way.
Okay.
They could have 25 architects.
Yeah.
But they gotta work with Bill and Ned.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make it clear that, that some preliminary, plans should be bandied about before they start designing.
Yeah.
And I think this project will be done in more than one phase, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, they will acquire the building, get started, and fulfill their grant requirements. And if there is not enough funding to do everything, that, we'll all work together to procure additional funding to finish everything, but I see it as a two-phase
Stepping
project.
stone. Do they realize?
So that, I read in the paper that they hired an architect.
Okay,
I don't know
Yeah.
that, but, and they will need one.
yeah,
But there should, let's say it this way, the architect, the fire marshal, and the building inspector should all meet and get together before they, design something.
yeah, because I don't know if they really realize what that project is really gonna cost.
Well, I agree, and we have told them that, and that's why I said what I said. And, I think that the fire code requirements for daycare are what
Yeah.
complicated.
Asbestos.
And we're discussing maybe keeping the daycare in the Y and putting other things in the building. But I'm just gonna say that the town, myself, is the one who's signing the paperwork.
Yeah.
And I agree with your concerns, because I have the same concerns. And it's our job to work with them and get it done properly, and we will. But it's not, there's not a clear cut 100% path. We've gotta
They should use
work things out.
Elevator you gotta put
what we
in.
use.
I mean, realistically, and I'm speculating, this is probably a 10 to a $15 million project,
Oh,
at
easy.
least, minimum.
Grandfather stuff in.
And I would say that
It could be more.
the number can be reduced dramatically if the daycare is either in a addition or kept in a Y.
Mhm.
'Cause
Maybe that would be
that's
the best result.
that's where a lot of the fire code issues come in.
There's enough space in the Y for them to keep the daycare there.
So under the grant, and Danielle is there, I think.
Hi,
everyone. So
Hi,
under the
Danielle.
grant, they have to provide new additional daycare slots. And what else, Danielle?
Yeah, so the things that we promised the state under this grant application were new daycare slots, a teen recreation center, and I think a kitchen, but we didn't specify where necessarily. So if they kept the daycare slots in the current Y and then put like the teen rec center in the new building, it'd be fine with the state. We would just have to make sure that we kept the state informed as we go.
So Bob, I'm just gonna say they're good questions, and we're working on the answers.
You're confident that it's not premature for us to get into this agreement?
Oh, yeah.
There's questions still out there?
Well, we have to start somewhere, so
I get it.
I would say it this way, Kim, that if we got into it and we determined we couldn't deliver, we wouldn't spend the money. But I'm confident that we'll be able to find a way to make the project work, but we've got some more work to do.
It's like anything
I
else.
just wanted to say one thing. So what you're authorizing Pete to sign today is actually a financial assistance proposal, which is essentially the first phase of contracting. So this allows us to accept the funds and move into the contracting phase. And then later we'll sign the actual assistance agreement, which is where we say, okay, we're ready to go. We're moving this project forward and we're all in. So this is kind of like, okay, we're accepting the funds. This is what a financial assistance proposal looks like in the grant world.
Gotcha.
Yeah, whatever happens, the huge benefit to the Y. And we all know that any old building that we touch in this town is gonna be done in multiple phases, just like the Tuttle building.
Mhm.
We knew from day one that was gonna be multiple phases because we knew that the costs were extreme.
Mhm.
So.
All right, any more questions? All right, we're gonna do a roll call vote.
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Megan,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
I am an affirmative. Rocky,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Dorothy.
Yes,
All right, so we have a unanimous roll call vote. So ordered.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses adopt the following municipal resolution in support of FFY 2023, section 5310 application as a printer.
All right, I'll just start off, Danielle can fill in the blanks, but we have an opportunity, to get a grant for $80,000 for a new bus, minibus, in partnership with HRD. So do you want to add to that, Danielle?
No, I think we can keep it succinct. So Allison reached out to me about a month ago, and flagged this opportunity for me. I met with, the HRD team, and they told me that they have two buses, one that needs to be replaced because it's aging. I said, okay, let's do it. Makes sense. And we're planning on replacing the aging bus. And then something that's happening right now is that our public works department is actually getting sent over a lot to do maintenance, so it's pulling from the public works budget. So if we could replace the bus, it would actually save, dollars from our public works department budget. So I see nothing but opportunity here.
Is there a value of the old bus when it gets turned in?
I don't have the answer to that question, but I could get it for you.
There has to be some value.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
At least the 4 wheels.
All right, any questions? All right. Roll call, Dorothy,
Aye.
Fran,
Aye.
Bob,
Yes.
Rocky.
Yes.
I am yes,
Yes,
Julie's yes, Megan, yes,
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
All right, so we have the unanimous roll call vote on item 7.
Motion that the Board of Maine Burgesses approve Sky Technologies LLC, 88 Moonlight Circle in Naugatuck, as an approved vendor upon passage through the end of fiscal year 2025, as recommended by Controller Allison W. Bruce.
second motion.
Okay, so we're just making them an approved vendor.
I have one more line.
Okay,
Contract shall commence upon vendor completing all borough requirements, and the purchase order is received by vendor.
all right, we already have a second. So we'll vote on this and then under the next item, we'll have a discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 9.
Put a number in there.
Yeah, 19,750.
Motion that the Board of Maine Burgesses waive the bid and approve the purchase of cameras for Linden Park in an amount not to exceed $19,750, utilizing the town clerk's local capital improvement fund. In addition, the mayor and deputy mayor are authorized to purchase 2 additional cameras for the industrial park or other areas on similar terms.
Second motion.
All right, little background. First of all, for those who don't know, we have every time someone buys a piece of property in Naugatuck, a certain amount of the proceeds go to a special account we have to purchase capital items. So I don't know the exact amount in there, but I'm gonna say $75,000-$80,000. And every so often, now we haven't done this in quite a while. Couple of years, but every so often, when we have a specialty item and we don't wanna use the budget and it's not gonna come up that often, we use the fund to, to buy things that are nice to have. Now, I'm just gonna say that when I was in college, you put a man on the moon. And it's now 2024, and with all due respect, for 4 or 5 years, we're waiting for security cameras, so I'm a little upset with that. Now, having said that, at Linden Park, there's no fiber, there's no cell service, it's a little bit of a complicated site. So this proposal is for 3 top-notch cameras to go in and give us a good security system. Now, having said that, there may be better systems out there, for the future. The police, IT, they've been working on it for a while, they're still working on it. But what I want to do is implement this system at Linden Park. And then with Rocky, I'm gonna put you mostly in charge of it, come up with another system, unless you love this one, for the industrial park or somewhere else. And then we'll have two systems that'll be up and working, and we'll build on it. Police and IT come up with something better, fine. But in my mind, we can't leave Linden Park
Yeah.
open. And I'll tell you this, it's so popular in the cold weather that it's just gonna, when the warm weather comes, it's gonna be crazy over there. So I wanna have it protected so we know what's going on.
Yeah,
You're gonna be able to see people coming from the Pulaski Bridge in, people coming from the parking lot in. Every angle will be covered, and,
but
at least
behind the building.
we'll know what's going on.
I have a few questions.
Go, yeah, hold on.
Okay.
And then also, I wanna find a way to protect, I'm gonna say, the industrial park from dumping
Mhm.
and, you know, everything else. And ultimately, we wanna protect the whole town.
Yeah,
So 8 years ago, maybe more than 8, it was like a long time ago, we had a meeting in this room. And we had cameras that were to go on the streetlights, and we sat here and we watched the camera and you could read the license plates.
Yep.
And we saw it with our own eyes, and we bought the cameras. All I know is that I've never seen one picture from one camera, you know, it just didn't work, and, you know, we don't really know why. I think we got some of our money back, but we need better security,
yeah.
so. Okay,
Especially
so,
like
Can I add?
going on.
yes,
Just as some background, we were working together with the police department, the litter committee, which at this point is myself, I think Diane Carangelo is the only one left. And we were looking basically at litter, but it really mostly turned into dumping. Because litter wasn't really the right word,
Right,
yeah,
there's big dumping going on in town.
right,
And like I've always said, you could furnish a house in the industrial park.
yeah, yeah.
There's so much stuff going there and build a car.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing that we're trying to take the workload off of public works
Every time you drive.
and catch these people and go after them and get some of the money back that we're doing. And that's what, we would kind of work with the police department. They were looking more at security and we were looking more at dumping.
Right,
So we came up with a list of 5 different areas where we thought cameras should be installed to start with. So we'll work off of that list that we already had.
I know you're talking about having, you know, Rocky look into a system for the industrial park, and this would be for Linden. Let's just make sure that IT is involved to the point where you know that each of the systems, play nice with our computers. Because I've done that in other systems where you get somebody that goes off half-cocked and doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't ask the right questions, and you have one system that only works on Apple.
it's not capable of putting a system there without fiber.
Right, no, I
So
get
that's
it,
why,
I get
this is like, to me, this is something to protect us right now.
right,
And we're gonna continue to work with IT and the police on, I'm gonna say, townwide, long-term
right.
solutions.
Well, I know our IT department is a PC IT department. And so you want everything that you purchase to be compatible with PCs.
Yeah, but I wanted it to happen 5 years ago,
I can't help you there.
and they're telling me we can't do it for another 2 years, so it's unacceptable.
Part of the problem you run into is there power there? Is it easily accessible to set the camera? Whether it's on a pole, does it need a new pole? Can you get fiber there? Can you not get fiber there?
Right.
And that was part of the problem.
And you can't get fiber there, and DOT says it's gonna take, Jeremy, what, 2 years?
They even got back to us, it has to come from North Main, and you have to get permission to run the conduit on under Route 8.
Take 2 years.
And then we have to
back.
go to either a pole or conduit across the parking lot to the building. So
That's
Jim's been in contact with DOT,
Yeah.
but
I've been with several people, and they-
Let's just complicate it.
So there's always the possibility of getting cameras that have cards. And you go by, there's no dumping, you go by, there is dumping, you pull the card and see.
Right, right.
It's not rocket science.
So that was one of my questions, was like, so it's on an SD card? Or is this live streaming something, like who's monitoring this?
So there's an incident, you go and you look at it.
Okay, but and how long is that gonna be stored for? Is it a
So,
week,
so
30
typically,
days?
okay, with those, it's
Yeah.
like, it's usually a week, and it's on a constant cycle where it overwrites every 7 days.
Okay,
So that's like the police cameras that we put up a couple of years ago,
gotcha.
those are a week. So,
Okay.
so you got a week from the incident on cameras like that to go and check the feed before it's gone. Without fiber, without network, there's no live stream.
So there's, and then there's no cloud or anything like that, right? You could, I mean, you could pull it off the card and store it.
You can pull it off the clock, yeah, sure, you can pull it off the card and store it. Unless you're sitting there underneath the camera with a laptop connected to it,
Yeah.
like with your phone or a hotspot, there's no like live.
Okay.
Who gets that?
And then is there,
You the techniques.
is there like a monthly fee for any of
Set it up,
this?
That's what I had to do.
Not if it's just local.
Right.
Because you're not paying for a cell signal,
Okay.
or you're not paying for internet connection.
And
Yeah.
didn't we approve cameras for Linden to the police department like 2 years ago?
Did we?
We did.
Yes,
We approved cameras at the
Yeah,
police.
one
they
there.
can't even get them.
there's one up in Linden now and nobody can get it to work.
Okay, gotcha. And then just, and my last one, I promise. The way like, so we said the 19,000,
Yeah, that's for 3 cameras.
so that's for 3.
Well, 3 cameras plus the poles and all the other equipment.
So where we're saying that we're authorizing the mayor and deputy mayor to purchase 2 additional,
Yeah,
that will be an additional cost?
yeah,
Okay, so can we maybe talk about that at another time and see how these first ones work at
I
the
don't mind coming.
19,750?
I'm gonna say this. Rocky has some free time. I want.
A lot of free
A lot
time.
of free
I
time.
want him to, be involved in this installation, look, see it, examine it, go out, and if he finds something equal to or better, or he wants to try a different system, let's try it, and let's have some immediate protection, and we'll continue with police and IT to,
And I think
to find a
being,
town-wide solution.
and I think being quick on this is important, but it's not like it's a small amount of money either, so we're just like, hey, Rocky, if you find what you like, go get it.
Well, it's
And we're
also,
like
it's
pre-authorized.
also, we're using our free money, which we keep set aside for things like this that fall into a unique category of things that,
Kinda like
you would like to have.
You're having-
Yeah.
so this is really a perfect example for this fund, because it's something we would like to have, but there are cost implications. And our only restriction with that account is that it be a capital purchase, and cameras are a capital purchase.
So what's the industrial park will be portable cameras that can
Okay.
still do the same job, but we can move them around the industrial park.
Okay.
So we don't have to put 25 cameras there.
Like what you have on buses.
Hey, Jim. Being on the streetlight committee, and when we did buy all the new streetlights with the LED lights, and I know that what the mayor's talking about is that some of the lights that we did purchase had cameras in them. And they were gonna be positioned in specific locations throughout the town, so that if there was an incident, bank robbery or whatever it was, they'd be able to pull up that camera from that particular street light and possibly pick up the vehicle. Whatever happened to that system, number one. Number two, we were gonna try to utilize those type of lights up at the industrial park, with the cameras so that we would have this coverage.
Well, it was turned over to the police station for them to obviously monitor and go there and download, it's just like you said, you go there and you download. We had problems with, I don't know, 3 or 4 of the cameras, which were constantly going out. They wouldn't, be consistent. Some of them were working fine, others just kept dropping out.
Let me
And
stop
they had to
you.
be pulled down and
Jim,
reset.
None of them worked fine because you couldn't see, or you couldn't read the license plate, which was the whole point of having a camera.
So at that point, why didn't we have a conversation with the vendor?
We did.
We did.
And what happened
They
then?
went out of business.
They went out of business. What the frick?
Isn't that magical?
So it's
Go find the boot.
unbelievable.
I guess I wouldn't, in the future, knowing what I know now, do that with something that you can't that we don't have the equipment to access. Because if you gotta pull a card or reset it or just something like that, you can't get to it. So
Yeah.
we're hiring a vendor to go up there and disconnect and swap cameras, it's just, it's crazy.
That's not feasible.
So if that company went out of business, and if we have problems with the lights now, what are we doing?
I haven't heard from the police station in a year about the status of those.
Okay, so are we having our lights currently throughout the whole town, are they all
We've
working?
got like, I don't know, 15 of them, 10 or 15 of them, they're not that many. Camera company,
Okay,
different company than.
well,
than the-
so if the camera company went out,
Yeah.
is there another camera company that would do the same system in this particular lights that would be much better?
Well, isn't that part of what the police and IT are looking at?
Well, what the frick's taking so freaking long?
Well, it's been through 3 different people in the police.
I mean, it's just bullshit. I mean, it's pretty simple.
What vendor does the state of
I
Connecticut
mean,
use?
Jesus Christ, it shouldn't be 2 years.
Which vendor does the state of Connecticut use? I mean, they have those kind of lights on the highways and everything.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We also have a system in town that says there's a card if you want it. And there's certain areas in town that car goes by, it pings.
Yeah.
They know that car
Was in that area.
was in Bridge Street. That car was
Car
on
in the garage from now on.
So I think, at least what I'm thinking is that obviously I have nothing but respect for our police and our IT. But they've told me that they can't get this done for quite a while. And to me, it's unacceptable that we have to do.
You're right. So if they can't get it done, then we gotta find somebody that can get it done.
Well, I got Linden Park done.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, it's craziness.
And Rocky's gonna get the industrial
Yeah,
part.
because he can go out, he can wear his yellow jacket, and you know, he could be security up there.
Except one of those street lights is blinking and the other light don't work, so the lamp post.
It's been coming out for everybody.
All right, any further questions? All right,
Yeah, just
what do we
one
got?
question.
Item 9, all those in favor?
One question.
One question.
Aye,
One question.
opposed?
One question.
Go ahead.
Is, we have a price, is this from Sky Eye Technologies?
Yes.
Okay, because usually it'll say it in the motion.
Oh, okay, I thought it was supposed to be there, but I thought it was implied from the above.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah,
clarify that. That's-
yep. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? All right. Next item. Discussion, possible action, animal shelter. Naugatuck is a town that loves animals. We love our facility, but it needs a lot of work. And it's a big ticket item. We are discussing a possible regional shelter with some other towns. But, it needs attention, and it needs attention sooner than later. So, at the request of, Charlie, we put this on the agenda tonight to talk about as a group. So I'll let you lead off, Charlie.
Yeah, thanks. A few of us have toured the facility recently, invitation from Steve Ropsis and Rocky encouraging us to get down there and take a look at what's going on. It is a mess. It's not something, we always want to put things up in the town of Naugatuck that we can be proud of, that we can say, this is a high quality product that we are proud to put the name Naugatuck on. I am not proud to have the name Naugatuck on that building.
Yeah.
The staff, super committed and hardworking. It's not the staff we're talking about, it's the facility. It's also non-compliant to some of the newer standards that are supposed to be in place for animal shelters and dog pounds. Not even close, and it's, if you go there and you see bungee cords holding
I have plenty of photos if anyone wasn't able to.
fencing, it's not even up to code for this type of facility.
With a big freaking dog behind it.
The difficulty just maintaining the sanitation to keep those dogs healthy. The fact they don't have the dog runs in the space that are being required by the state mandates. There's a lot of attention needs to be paid to this.
No land, no, it makes it very difficult.
So I'm proposing, my idea is, I think we should put together a subcommittee that will invite people that are in the know currently at the shelter, people that are in the know about the best practices of animal shelters and compliance with state laws, and come up with options. I'm not saying a plan that we have to say or do, but let's explore options. If we were to build something and include it in our TIF district, or include it as part of the plan in that area, that's just thinking out of the box. Maybe we could then build it and then go to surrounding communities and say, let's go regional. Will you help us support this structure? Will you help us support the staffing and the way we run it? Probably something similar to the model like the probate court, where we have a regional area where money is brought in from other towns to help support it. So that's a thought. But no matter what this committee does, something needs to be done. The status quo is unacceptable, and it's very, it's a shame on Naugatuck for not having a better facility.
So other than you, who wants to be on the subcommittee? All right,
I have a couple of people in the community.
Megan?
too.
Well, I want to be on the subcommittee because I have a few members of our CERT team that have trained and are certified in animal rescue. And then I have another 8 members that on April 20th will be going for additional training and certification. So I think it'll be a good
Good fix.
thing.
And could we bring community? I have a couple of people. Other than.
All right, so everyone who wants to be on, raise your hand. All right, so by the power vested in me by the charter of the Borough of Naugatuck, I hereby appoint Charlie, Megan, and Fran to be the subcommittee to look into conditions at the animal shelter and to come back with recommendations.
So Mayor, I know that,
Hold on.
that probably 10 years ago, we had talked about regionalization of the dog system. And I'm not sure where that ever went. I don't know if it was, if we could get other communities to get involved with working together. I have no idea where that ever went. What I'm gathering from Charlie is that, maybe we're gonna be the ones that put up this huge, facility. And then we're gonna invite other communities to join us and pay a fee. I don't know.
Well, just say we're gonna invite them even sooner, I think, right?
But let me ask you, what are the other communities that we're talking to in regards to this? Is it like Prospect, Beacon Falls,
When I spoke
Middlebury?
with Brittany, right, that's the,
Yeah.
so she had mentioned specifically she would like to be with Prospect and Beacon Falls. She's open to other communities as well.
We're open to anyone that joins
Animal
us.
control
right?
officer.
Oh, okay. People that work-
I know, speaking from her, she thinks that that's gonna be the best way to go about this, but also, for staffing purposes too. I mean, they're at max capacity 90% of the time, and having the resources from other communities as far as other animal control officers and such too, because they're doing the jobs of many people down there.
What do they currently have?
One full-time, right?
No, for a facility.
Well,
They don't have
Brittany,
one.
Brittany's getting up in, next month.
She is, but she's also lost people to other facilities.
No, I know.
Maryland's retiring.
Yeah, and then someone went to Torrington recently.
Right,
Yeah.
So what does Beacon Falls Prospect currently have for a facility?
Prospect has their own,
Oh, they do, okay,
but it's very small.
okay.
And I'm not sure about Beacon Falls. I think they're regionalized with someone,
Are they?
possibly.
There's 2 things that are gonna come into play before we regionalize. One is, we don't have anything to offer anybody. There's no reason to regionalize with us. Our equipment is outdated, our facility is weak. There's no reason for us to regionalize.
If we build
Yeah.
a building,
we build, yeah.
Right,
yes.
Right.
That's the point I'm
right,
making.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And the second thing is, when you go from town to town to town, the protocols that are in place are very different. You can say we're at capacity, but if some of those dogs were in another facility, they're not dogs that can be adopted, and they would have been put down a long time ago. So capacity is a loaded word in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of dogs, but some of them should be crossing the old Rainbow Bridge.
And also what she had mentioned is some towns have different timelines. So like, she's mentioned towns that are very quick to say, oh, they've been here 15 days, got it euthanized, where we don't do that in our
It
town.
put me down a long time ago.
So Nordic,
So that's something that, but that I think would be their, you know, their conversation to have
Right.
as far as what the,
In regards to immediate need, it's the facility.
Yeah, it is.
That's what we need to take care of first. Within the committee, that's what we should look at
Right.
first. And then, we're talking, next level would be the possibility of regionalization.
Right.
So I think in this rough draft form that we're in now, starting, this is more of an exploratory committee, and then from there, we'd have to go even further. And then talk about
you gotta
bigger
do
projects.
interim and long.
Yeah, it's more fact finding and coming up with a draft, and then we can have a discussion about where we go finally.
and I mean, the safety in general in that facility concerns me, not only for the animals, but the employees. Because think about, you get your animal taken away from you, what is stopping an angry pet owner from coming in there?
Oh, they talked about that.
You know, she's not behind bulletproof glass, she has a baton and pepper spray. If an angry pet owner comes in there, they have no protection, and they're way out there. I mean, they have the dogs, but they're caged up, so it's, you know, it's
No,
stuff like that when I.
There's a lot of
It's
deep
just like-
flaws in that.
Yeah, my place.
No, no, that's not their job.
Take them all.
That's not their job.
Yeah, hold on. Rocky,
Well, I would love to have a gorgeous, beautiful new facility in Naugatuck. Let's not just limit us to that. If we hook up with Beacon Falls or Prospect and they've got the perfect building or the perfect area, the state loves to throw money at regionalization. And I think there'd be a better chance
I was hoping
of
Dan
getting
helps
some money for
still
that.
on, because maybe some grants as well that may be
Yeah,
available,
Mm-hmm.
that's all.
well, that's an option, so
yeah.
one you should look at, talk to Danielle. So
And Steve Rupp.
you're empowered,
Steve versus. Mm-hmm.
all right. Item 11,
Do we need an executive session?
yep,
Motion to recess for executive session at 8:45. For discussion on the following, real estate, Uniroyal Lanxess property, lots 2, 6, 7, 11, and 12, and pending litigation.
Second one.
inviting in. no one. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Second from Julie, all those in favor, opposed?
He's hungry.
We're gonna reconvene the special meeting at 9:03.
Motion to adjourn the special meeting at 9:03 and a half.
Second the motion.
All right, all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
Not opposed.
Opposed. I'll punch you in the